September 26, 1983, 12:15 a.m. Serpukhov 15, a secret bunker south of Moscow. An alarm screams through concrete walls. The screen reads, "Launch." One missile, inbound, American, aimed at the Soviet Union. The man staring at that screen has less than 15 minutes to decide if the world ends tonight. His name is Stanislav Petrov. This is where things get interesting. Petrov is not a soldier by instinct. He's an engineer, methodical, skeptical of machines that claim to know everything. He works inside OKO, the Soviet Union's brand new early warning satellite system. Its job is simple: watch American missile fields, detect a launch, report it up the chain in seconds. The world in 1983 is not calm. Weeks earlier, the Soviets shot down a Korean airliner, killing 269 people. NATO is running war games so aggressive that Moscow genuinely believes, a first strike may be coming. Soviet leadership is old, paranoid, and convinced the Americans are preparing to attack. Petrov didn't design this tension. He just works the night shift inside it. But that was just the beginning. At 12:15 a.m., the system locks onto something over Montana. A launch signature. Then a second alarm. Then a third. Then two more. 5 missiles. Full launch sequence. The system's confidence rating, highest possible. Every protocol Petrov has ever trained on says the same thing. Report immediately, up the chain, to the general staff, to the leadership that has openly discussed launching first. If Petrov reports this as real, Soviet doctrine says the response should already be moving. Retaliation. Full nuclear launch. No hesitation. The room around him is chaos. Officers are staring at the same board. The system is screaming that this is real. But something doesn't sit right with Petrov. How did no one see this coming? Only 5 missiles, not hundreds. A real American first strike, he reasons, would be overwhelming, a full arsenal meant to cripple any chance of retaliation. 5 missiles doesn't fit the shape of what an actual attack should look like. He has 90 seconds, maybe less, before he has to speak. The phone line to his superiors is open. They're waiting for his word. Petrov's gut says something the machine can't say. This is wrong. He has no confirmation from ground radar, only the satellite. No visual, no independent source. Just a system barely a year old, built with technology no one has fully stress-tested, telling him the unthinkable is happening. He makes a decision that isn't in any manual. He reports it as a false alarm, not because he's certain, because he isn't certain, and the cost of being wrong in the other direction is annihilation. The system made one fatal mistake: its own confidence. The next several minutes are the longest of his life. If he's wrong, Soviet cities have no warning. If he's right, and Moscow's leadership had reacted on their own before his call reached them, missiles could already be in the air on both sides. He waits. No detonations. No confirmation from ground-based radar stations, which would have picked up real incoming missiles minutes before impact. Silence. The alarms keep firing for several more minutes. The system insists again and again that missiles are inbound. Petrov holds his position each time. Later investigation reveals the cause: sunlight reflecting off high-altitude clouds over Montana, hitting the satellite's sensors at an angle that mimicked the heat signature of a missile launch. A rare alignment of sun, satellite, and cloud that the system's designers never accounted for. A glitch? Nothing more. but a glitch that, in nearly any other hands, ends the world. Petrov is not rewarded. His paperwork that night was incomplete. He hadn't logged every step by the book because he was busy making a decision no book prepared him for. The incident embarrasses his superiors, who don't want evidence their new multi-billion ruble system nearly triggered a war by mistake. He's quietly reassigned. His military career stalls. For years, almost no one outside a small circle of officers knows what happened that night. The story doesn't reach the public until the 1990s, after the Soviet Union collapses and the archives start to open. By then, Petrov is a retired man living on a small pension, largely unaware that historians and journalists around the world will eventually call him the man who saved civilization. He never saw it that way. In interviews later in life, he downplayed the moment, said he was just doing his job, that another officer might have made the same call. But most people who study that night disagree. The system said launch. The doctrine said respond. Only one man's doubt stood between those two facts and a nuclear war. What happened next changed everything. Not with an explosion, but with the world simply continuing, unaware how close it came to not continuing at all. Stanislav Petrov died in 2017, largely unknown even in his own country. No monument marked that night for decades. No headline broke the next morning. The world woke up on September 27, 1983, and went to work, never knowing how close the closest of calls had come. Sometimes history doesn't turn on armies or treaties. Sometimes it turns on one tired man, at one screen, in one bunker, choosing doubt over certainty and silence over the end of the world.